Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. And finally, after putting it off from a good amount of time, we are here with the power scaling tier list for Super Smash Brothers. We are going to tier every character in the series using the roster of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate in order to get an idea of where every character stands in terms of power scaling tiered. Now, there are going to be a couple of addendums going into this. And I know there's going to be a lot of y'all watching live and a lot of y'all watching this on YouTube. So when it comes to the chat and the comments, note a couple of things, all right? I feel like I am very well versed in a lot of the series that Smash Bros. Covers. And for those that are not, I've done a bit of research, more than a bit of research, but I feel like I have a good understanding of where everyone lies, right? But there are a couple of other outlying addendums when it comes to this tier list, okay? This, to the best of my personal ability, I do feel that I am going to be quite close to something that is, objective, but at the same time, for all intents and purposes, this is subjective to a degree. Now, this is going to be lore-based power scaling. Because of that, abilities afforded or borrowed by characters within Smash Bros. Rosters will not count, i.e. abilities that Ness and Lucas have in Smash Bros. But do not actually get in the Earthbound games or the Mother games will not count towards their move list. And Captain Falcon's abilities, we have yet to see them in the actual games of F-Zero. So what we see in Smash Bros. And the anime will not count towards his tier, okay? Also, we are going to have two examples of composite characters out of everyone in the list. Only two, and that is Zelda and Ganondorf. All right, we're not taking a specific notion of Zelda, even though she is presented as a Link to the Past or a Link Between Worlds Zelda. We are taking a composite version of Zelda when ranking her, as well as Ganondorf. So we're going to be taking all of their known feats and abilities and composite those two specific characters. However, non-composite characters that will be ranked individually will be the Links. And it comes to Breath of the Wild Link, Ocarina of Time Link, who is also Majora's Mask Link, and Hero Shade Twilight Princess, and Wind Waker Link when it comes to Toon Link. And it is Wind Waker Link due to the Hero Shield and the Master Sword coming from the Wind Waker. All right? But we're also going to gauge what he's able to do in Phantom Hourglass, not what he's able to do in Spirit Tracks. Now, we are not counting pilotable machines. All right? So Arwing's Metal Gears, no, they will not count towards the likes of Fox, Falco, or Snake. However, machine upgrades will indeed count. This tier list will be combining not only feats of strength, power output, endurance, but also feats of labor and accomplishments relative to what they may have fought, who also may be in Smash, but also in the games. All right? So I hope that covers about everything you kind of need to know before getting into this. So let's begin by revealing the tiers, okay? Here we go. The tiers are as follows. Weak being the lowest tier, weak. Then ground level. Weak means, no real, fantastical abilities, maybe abilities that get them by in an everyday situation. A character that could probably kick my ass, but that's probably it. That's weak. Then we deal with ground level. Those that are able to fight to, let's say, peak human ability or a little beyond of peak human ability or peak ability of someone that's not able to amount to massive amount of destruction that will be able to wipe out, let's say, a crowd of people or anything like that. That's going to be ground level. Mountain Buster. Now I have to explain each of these, right? Mountain Buster. Now, this is someone that is capable of taking down a mountain, someone that's able to blow up a building, someone that is able to cause an amount of destruction that is applicable to a good amount of TNT that will level a large amount of land mass, or a piece of construction, like a building or anything like that. That is Mountain Buster. Then we go to Continent Buster, in which someone is able to destroy or endure a destructive force that is able to level, let's say, an island, a country, a gigantic mass of land. Not one piece of land, but the entire piece of land will be able to be leveled by this individual. That is Continent Buster. Then we go to Planet Buster. That should already, give you an idea. If someone that is able to blow up a planet, destroy a planet early, or break a planet, that's Planet Buster. Now, after Planet Buster, I had to really dive deep in something that is broad enough in order to account for many characters within that of Super Smash Bros., right? So there are usually tier lists in the likes of Galaxy Buster, Universe Buster, stuff like that. We are not doing multiversal. I'm going to explain that in a little bit, all right? So we're going to deal with Celestial Buster, right? This is going to be an individual that is able to destroy a celestial body, all right? That's going to be a very broad sense of the word. It's anything beyond that of planet busting on the level of solar system busting, galaxy busting, or at the very peak, universe busting. So anyone that has the ability to destroy a celestial body is all going to be ranked within the celestial busting rank. Now, here we come to two very interesting top points when it comes to this. Divine Slayer. Now, when it comes to Divine Slayer, these are individuals that are able to destroy matter or existence beyond that of the mortal plane. Now, they can be any level between that of celestial busting, planet busting, continent busting, mountain busting in their own right, but if they achieve a form, ability, or a higher plane of existence that allows them to destroy reality itself applicable to the divine, then they are put on the divine slaying level, and that will be above that of Celestial Buster, because Celestial Buster is everything when it comes to the physical sense of the word, when it comes to destroying solar systems, planetary systems, galaxies, and universes, right? But divine slaying is approaching a level that is beyond that of physical reality. All right, so that is where Divine Slayer is. And then at the top rank, we have Omega. Omega is basically, long and short of it, limitless power that is able to destroy anything applicable to this list and is able to survive anything as such. It's going to be a power unlike that of anyone else on this list and is bordering on that of Toon Force, right? That is Omega level. Now, another addendum that I should add. We are going to add Smash characters to this list as we go through their, their order of appearance, like in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So when it comes to people that are shared on each bracket of this tier, they are not going to be ranked individually. They are only going to be ranked in this tier. Meaning, if there's two people that show up in Divine Slayer, right? They're only going to be ranked there by order of appearance, just because if one person is ahead of her does not mean like, oh, this person is specifically stronger. We are only ranking them in that specific tier and that they're a part of that tier. That's it. All right. Are you guys ready? Let's do it. Also, another addendum. Sorry, I keep doing this. Multiversal, whenever I see someone's like, oh, universal, whatever, I get it. Multiversal, there is no character in Smash, and there's like a very small amount of characters in terms of media or fiction that applies to the word of multiversal in terms of multiversal busting. I hate the term multiversal. What do you even mean by multiversal? That they're able to travel the multiverse? Cool. Does that give them a level of power that is like, rankable? No, it just gives them the ability to travel said, different universes, different realities. When people say, oh, but this character is multiversal, what does that mean? All right. And then when they say, oh, this means that doesn't mean there's multiversal busting, right? We're not talking about like it's Marvel, baby. It's DC, baby. No, there is multiversal busting characters. Smash doesn't have any of them. All right, let's begin. First, we have wait. I gotta pull up my cheat sheet. Sorry, cheat sheet. All right, cheat sheet right here, because I already have them all ranked here, but I like, as we go on. All right, there we go. As we begin, first character, and if you guys are ever confused or anything like that when it comes to like, oh, my reasoning, I will break it down. All right, first character, Mario. Mario is Planet Buster level. All right. He has had many feats, and I'm talking about everything that Mario has been able to do. I'm taking feats from Mario Galaxy, and especially the Mario and Luigi games. In Mario and Luigi games, Mario and Luigi are some wild characters in terms of what they're able to do, what they're able to destroy, what they're able to withstand, and whatnot. When it comes to like Super Mario 64, when it comes to Super Mario Sunshine and Mario Party, you don't really see that. But when it comes to the Mario and Luigi games, Super Mario Galaxy, and other examples like that, Mario is definitely planet busting, right? Next up, we have Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong is Incontinent Buster, right? Donkey Kong is able, like his feat of pure strength is actually insane when you see games like Donkey Kong Jungle Beat, where he's able to have an amount of force that is able to cause volcanic eruptions and able to like literally sink islands, right? So Donkey Kong is Incontinent Buster, all right? Okay. And remember, we're talking about characters at their peak and everything they're able to do. All right. Now, Link from Breath of the Wild. Link from Breath of the Wild. I love my boy Link. Unfortunately, he will be mountain busting level. Right? When it comes to Breath of the Wild and in Tears of the Kingdom, when it comes to the abilities afforded him from the Sheikah Slate, the champion abilities, remember, we're talking about peak, right? And of course, Raru's arm, the amount of explosive force and force that he's able to utilize in terms of lifting is actually limitless, right? People have tested this out where Raru's arm it doesn't have a cap on what it's able to lift, right? So with that being said, and the weapons that he's able to use, all that combined puts him at Mountain Buster when it comes to Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom Link, all right? That is Tears of the Kingdom Link, all right? Now we go to Samus. Samus with her armor, mountain busting, easily. Not exactly continent busting. We've seen the extent of the Zero Laser in various games. Not the Zero Laser, but I mean the power cannon, right? I will put her at mountain busting level in terms of like the highest she's ever done when it comes to the power suit. And even the Metroid suit that we've seen, the Metroid suit, Metroid form, whatever, in Metroid Dread, right? So with that being said, Mountain Buster I feel is a really good applicable story. She would be Continent Buster or Planet Buster if you utilized her ship, her gunship, but we're not counting those. So Mountain Buster for Samus. Dark Samus, this is a very interesting choice because I would consider Dark Samus nearing Continent Buster if we actually consider her Metroid Prime form, right? But since this is Dark Samus we're thinking about, and Dark Samus is indeed like, oh, it's the Metroid Prime Reborn, but we're talking about Dark Samus, all right? So Dark Samus, I'm going to put her at Mountain Busting as well, right? So that's Dark Samus, all right? Phazon is kind of crazy. Phazon's definitely crazy. Phazon's hella crazy, right? Now we have Kirby. There's no argument for this. Kirby, and so early in this, Kirby is Omega level. Kirby, spoiler alert, is the strongest Super Smash Brothers character, and it's not even close. It's not even close. This man, this boy, this thing is able to wipe realities from existence, take down celestial creator gods, and is able to mess with the fabric of time and space itself. All right. And Kirby's power is limitless. He literally holds a universe within him in order to tap into the powers of whatever he's absorbed or whatever he's eaten. If you want to say absorb, eaten, whatever. Kirby is Omega level, right? Kirby survived Galeem, but we're not counting Smash. We're not counting what happens in Smash. Right? Kirby lore is insane. Kirby lore is actually mind-boggling. Like, Kirby can literally Kirby's power of absorption, eating, whatever you want to call it, the suckage, literally goes on the point where if Kirby is left unchecked, that's why if he's like, I'm glad Kirby's a good guy, because if Kirby is left unchecked, he can literally eat all of existence. And I'm not even joking. I am not joking when I say that. Kirby can literally devour all of existence. He is him. He is it. That is it. He's the end. All right, so that's Kirby, Omega level. All right. Now we go to Yoshi. Yoshi's at ground level. Yoshi has shown comedic feats of strength when it comes to being combined with other Yoshis and utilizing power afforded to him by other people, right? Other people physically there, such as the Star Children and, like I said, other Yoshis, right? But Yoshi, just one Yoshi is ground level. Very strong ground level, but ground level nonetheless, right? Okay. Now we get to Fox. Fox, once again, another ground level attacker, fighter, whatever, is able to use guns, is able to use bazookas and weapons. Nothing like he can wield on his own can level that of a mountain, possibly a building, but then that's only with the weaponry that he's afforded to when he has it, right? He's more of a hand-to-hand combatant. We're not counting the R-Wing, and because of that, Fox himself is ground level, right? Next up, we have Pikachu. Yeah, Pikachu's mountain busting. Pikachu, level 100 Pikachu, in terms of what Pikachu is able to get done in terms of electrical output when it comes to what he's defined in the games and what we've seen. We're not counting the anime, but what we've seen in the games, he can definitely level a building. He could definitely level a mountain, right? So we're putting Pikachu in mountain busting, all right? Next, we put Luigi. Luigi is planet busting. Luigi's like same scale Mario, planet busting. Yo, Mario and Luigi, man, I keep going back to Mario and Luigi. What they're able to do, the Mario Brothers are actually insane. So I put Luigi once again planet busting just like his brother. All right, so that's Luigi. Now here we come to Ness. Ness is going to be continent buster, right? Sure, he doesn't really have PK Starstorm because that is from a different character. I'm pretty sure Poe is the one that uses PK Starstorm or whatnot. But his own abilities that he's able to do when it comes to Psy and the PK attacks, he's a very destructive child, right? An extremely destructive child in Earthbound, and he's able to survive like a good amount of like stuff. Earthbound is very dark, by the way, if you haven't seen it. So I'm gonna put Ness at Continent Buster. All right. Now we get to Captain Falcon. Captain Falcon. All right. And remember, guys, I see you guys in chat. What about this character? What about this character? We're going in order. We are going in order of appearance in Smash. All right. Captain Falcon, we are not counting the amount of like power he's able to do in Smash Brothers. We're not counting the anime. He's ground level. We know he's ground level because he is a bounty hunter by trade when he's not getting prize money from racing the F-Zero Grand Prix. Right? He is a bounty hunter. He is a well-known fighter. He's able to take in criminals. He's got the strap and whatnot. So we put him at ground level. And yes, he technically defeated the creator gods in F-Zero GX. Yeah, F-Zero GX story is actually kind of wild. He defeated the creator gods, but he did so in a race. He did it in a race. Okay, we're not counting Blue Falcon. We're not counting the Falcon Flyer, the Falcon Strider, whatever it's called. It's just, So we're putting Captain Falcon at our ground level, right? Yes. F-Zero's crazy. All right. We are putting Jigglypuff also at ground level. Nothing mountain busting. Jigglypuff. We're not talking Wigglytuff. We're not talking Igglybuff. We're not talking about Screamtail or anything like that. And what Jigglypuff is able to do in Smash, like, nah. But Jigglypuff ground level Jigglypuff has applicable stats. It cannot learn Hyper Beam on its own. That's why I'm not putting it at Mountain Busting. If what do you call them? Jigglypuff was able to use Hyper Beam on its own, then I'm like, okay, Mountain Busting, but Jigglypuff can't learn Hyper Beam on her own. So we're gonna put Jigglypuff at Ground Buster. All right. Next up, not Ground Buster, ground level, Ground Buster. Punch in the ground. Next up, Peach. We're putting Peach at ground level. Nothing to scoff at. Peach can take a lot of punishment and she can dish it out. But the feats that we've seen, Peach, Baby Peach, and all that stuff, she is a star child, just like the Marbers and whatnot. But from what we've seen in the games, we're gonna put her at ground level. All right, like peak human. She's not weak. We're not putting her in weak bracket. We're putting her at ground level. All right, so she is not in weak bracket. Same thing with Daisy, ground level. You know, scaling Daisy to Peach, I feel is not unheard of. And the thing is, like, the reason why I scaled Daisy to Peach is because we've actually seen her a lot less than Peach. All right, so that's ground level. Okay, here we go. Ugh. Bowser. Wait. Bowser. We are putting Bowser on Celestial Buster. Oh, but Mario can do this, Mario Luigi. No. From what we've seen, this man is able to transform into, is able to become, is able to do, especially from the Super Mario Galaxy games. And if you guys didn't know, within the lore, Bowser actually has a lot of mystical and magical feats under his belt. Like, a lot of people take Bowser for an idiot. He's not, right? So we are putting Bowser as Celestial Buster. All right, so like this man is actually insane. King of the Koopas. All right, so that's Bowser. Okay. Ice Climbers. The only reason why I don't put Ice Climbers in weak is because in their game, Ice Climbers, Popo now is able to, like, you know, break through solid ice and otherwise other things with hammers in usually one go. That doesn't make you, like, they're not in weak tier. Like, that doesn't really make them in weak tier, but that puts them on ground level. Like, if they were able to do that, I would put them in weak. But the fact they're able to bust through solid ice with just their hammers, like in one swing, one go, like, it puts them at ground level. It definitely does make them weak. So yeah. All right. Didn't Bowser survive a black hole, Mario? Guys, he makes black holes. Like, all right, next up, we are putting Sheik in ground level. Now, this is very important to note. The reason why we're putting Sheik in ground level is because from the feat that the Sheik are able to accomplish and the fact that Zelda was disguising herself as Sheik in Ocarina of Time specifically, you know, the most Sheik has ever done is, like, she's been stealthy. We've seen, like, concept art and not concept art, but like promo art where she would fight alongside Link when it comes to the enemies or whatnot, using a knife, stealth attacks. We have not seen Sheik achieve any types of feat of strength. And when she revealed herself with the Triforce of Wisdom in order to transfer back into Zelda, that's when, like, Sheik stopped being Sheik and then Zelda started being Zelda, right? So we're gonna put Sheik at ground level because of that. All right. Now, Zelda. Composite Zelda, right? We are going to put Composite Zelda at Mountain Busting, right? Because of the feats that she's able to do so with the Triforce of Wisdom, with the sealing power that we see in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom with the Zonai Secret Stone and all that stuff. Combining what Zelda is able to accomplish with that, we put her at Mountain Busting because she is literally able to take beings and mass that is comparable to that of, like, a building or even a mountain and make them disappear, right? So we're putting Zelda at Mountain Busting, all right? And, like, oh, she has tons of other mystical abilities that, like, gets her out of a jam and whatnot, and we're not counting what she's able to do in Smash, right? We are counting what she's able to do in the games, okay? Oh, God. So, and before anyone says this, Dr. Mario is Mario. They're being ranked the same. I'm not playing this game. Oh, Dr. Mario can only use pills. It's like, no, Dr. Mario is Mario. They're not a separate character. Mario put on a lab coat and it's like, hey, let me heal you with this magical pill. They're the same person. Dr. Mario's feats are Mario's feats. Planet busting. We're not getting into that. All right. Let's see. Pichu. We're putting Pichu at ground level. Pichu's power level in terms of Pokemon stats, its cap and the moves that it's able to learn is like it's a baby Pokemon, and it's baby Pokemon in all sense of the word, right? So like Pichu is incredibly kneecapped in terms of what it's able to do in the established Pokemon lore in the game. So we're putting Pichu at ground level. Like I'm pretty sure I can take on a Pichu. Now I'll probably die, but I'll probably die. No, I'll die. I'll probably die. All right. Oh god. All right. Falco, comparable to that of Fox. We are not counting Arwing, Landmaster, any of that, none of that. Ground level fighter is able to use weaponry, but he really shines when he's in a cockpit. But we're not talking about that, unfortunately. All right. This is where things get dicey. All right, this is where things get mega dicey. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna need you guys to follow me, stay with me here. All right. This is when we start getting into the Fire Emblem characters. Marth is mountain busting. All right. Marth's abilities within that of all the other video game appearances he comes up, but mostly we're taking him from Fire Emblem in the Medley of the Shadow Dragon or whatever. The abilities that he's able to do against entities and otherwise the Dark Dragon, but the Dark Dragon, what is it, Meredith? Whatever. Is comparable to that of the force he outputs in that is comparable to that of mountain busting, right? Sure, he's able to one-shot people, but he's able to take down things a lot larger than himself, and especially if you count all of the abilities he's able to get, and Marth at his peak when you level him up all the way, right? And we are counting that. That's what I'm saying. Characters at their peak. All right, so Marth, mountain busting. All right, so yeah, Lucina, once again, I'm not making her comparable to that of Marth, but the stuff that people are able to do in Awakening is actually dumb, right? Like dummy good, not dummy bad. So Lucina, we're also putting out mountain busting. You're gonna see this a lot for the Fire Emblem characters. All right, it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, here we go. Here we go. Young Link. This is Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask Link. Planet busting. All right. This man is legit planet busting. Couple reasons why. Obviously, the Triforce of Courage and all the things he's able to get and do in Ocarina of Time. That is all Young Link, right? The Triforce of Courage makes him one of the most immovable objects within that of Zelda, and it is a divine relic. That is just Ocarina of Time. Now we get to Majora's Mask. We are counting all of his masks and all of his transformations. Fierce Deity puts him on a level that is higher than that of Majora. And Majora is an entity that literally devours and destroys worlds. Right? Majora's strength is able to blow up and destroy the world, and Fierce Deity is stronger than that. So we're putting Young Link at Planet Busted. Planet Busted. Oh, God. So, here we have it. Young Link planet busting, and I feel really good about that. Now, here we go. Ganondorf. Ganondorf 2 is planet busting. All right? If we're talking Ganondorf as the Ganondorf that is within all of the games, we are talking about Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and Tears of the Kingdom, combining all of his feats and how those specific Ganondorfs at one point did become a form of Ganon and went on to live in different, from game to game. Their power output and what they're able to do, Ganondorf is definitely planet busting. All right. He has wielded the complete Triforce at times, which is literally the foundation of the world. And then what he was able to do in Tears of the Kingdom with the Zonai Secret Stone, he was literally able to produce and like exude his force as gloom throughout the entirety of Hyrule from the underground. The amount of pressure and TNT needed in order for him to produce all that, a literal tree-like thing to crack open and like push everything out from the depth, from where he was like into the depths, into Hyrule itself, create craters everywhere, and was able to like lift the Hyrule Castle like it was nothing and whatnot. Nah, we put him at Planet Buster. All right. Now, another one at Planet Buster. The next one, Mewtwo. Mewtwo is at planet busting level. All right. Mewtwo, from what we've seen in the Pokemon games, he like if he wanted to, he can literally like destroy the world if he wanted to. With the amount of attack strength that is comparable to this, and this is how I compare this thing. His attack stat and special attack stat, like his stat wise, whatever, being comparable to Pokemon that are literally within the lore stated to be creator gods, or gods that are able to like, you know, mess with reality itself or anything like that. You know, Dialga, Palkia, Giratina. We are taking that into account. And then also in Pokken, he can literally like, you know, if you want to, he could freeze the planet. Right? We've seen that. Shadow Mewtwo, he can literally blow up the world if he wanted to. So we're putting Mewtwo definitely at planet busting. All right. Now, Roy, mountain busting. You know, I like it's when it comes to the Fire Emblem characters, like, you know, we just have to like take all of that into account when it comes to that. And you know, as bad as Roy's stats is compared to the other Fire Emblem characters, because like it's weird, his stats are really good, but his sword does not match his stats. The sealed sword, the sword of seals, whatever, it doesn't match his stats, right? But still, the amount of abilities he's able to get and how they fixed him in future game appearances where he's like guest appearance and whatnot, we put Roy at mountain busting, as well as Chrom. So Chrom is also mountain busting when it comes to like everything that's the Fire Emblem characters are able to do. But we're gonna get to some spicy things, some very spicy things. All right. Now the next one is going to be a very interesting choice, and I had to make a executive decision on this. Mr. Game & Watch. We're putting Mr. Game & Watch in weak because I am taking into account that Mr. Game & Watch exists literally on the plane of existence of that of a Game & Watch, right? We are not applying Mr. Game & Watch if he were to be in a real world. We're not applying Mr. Game & Watch if he was his own person. No, he is a literal video game character meant to be played on a video game. That is his existence. That is his identity. And if we were to consider everything Mr. Game & Watch is able to do in said Game & Watches, that honestly puts him at an average human, if not less. All right? So we're putting Mr. Game & Watch in weak. Definitely in weak. He was just a guy. He was just a guy. All right. Remember how I told you Kirby lore is wild? Remember how I told you Kirby lore is wild? Right? Meta Knight. We are putting Meta Knight on Divine Slayer. Right? Because of the forms Meta Knight is able to achieve and the fact his cape Galactica is a sword. His cape, I forgot the name of his cape. Whatever. His cape is literally able, like, there's like another reality in his cape. Right? His cape like produces another reality in which he is able to suck like the life and darkness out of things sometimes. And he's able to use that cape and that sword to be on level with Kirby and in order to slay gods when, you know, tagging with Kirby. All right. That's it. His power output is actually insane when you look at everything he's able to do. Now, a big note that I feel a lot of people, because when I see people try to rank Meta Knight, they try to use Galactica Knight as a comparable material. But the thing is, although Galactica Knight obviously looks like Meta Knight, Galactica Knight is a being a warrior that literally existed ages before that of the age of Kirby and Meta Knight. And then a lot of Kirby enthusiasts, they argue if he's canon or not, and then a lot of people try to rank, Meta Knight against Galactica Knight in terms of like, oh, if Galactica Knight is able to do this, then Meta Knight probably able to do this. And I feel that is applicable in some senses, but even if we're not doing that, the shit that Divine Slayer, the shit that Meta Knight is able to do, I feel puts him on Divine Slayer. All right, so that's where we put Meta Knight. Oh god. All right, let's continue. How you guys feeling so far? Now, I actually had to drop these next two characters from my original ranking, right? I was originally putting them, I had to drop them twice, right? Because we are not counting vehicles. And when I say we're not counting vehicles, the Divine Treasure from Kid Icarus Uprising, I am not counting it, right? The 3 Divine Treasures, like the 3 Sacred Treasures, I'll count those. Right? And because of that, I'm putting both Pit and Dark Pit in Continent Buster. Right? Wait, I feel like I skipped a couple. Oh no, we're fine. We're putting Pit and Dark Pit in Continent Buster. Right? Originally, I had them ranked higher, but then I thought about it and I'm like, no, the Divine Sacred Treasure, like the big one that is used to defeat Hades at the end of the game, I'm not counting that. That counts like more. That's a vehicle. It's a vehicle, and no great Sacred Treasure. So we're putting 3 Sacred Treasures are fine and applicable, and Pit and Dark Pit are literally comparable to each other. So we're putting them at Continent Buster, and I feel that's a very safe point. The amount of force that they're able to do, if they wanted to, they could sink continents in the name of the goddess Palutena and Viridi and all that stuff. But yeah, oh god, sorry. Woo. Oh god. Now Zero Suit Samus. Zero Suit Samus, without her suit, she is the peak of human conditioning, and the Chozo blood puts her over peak, right? But she doesn't have any of the destructive force needed because she has the paralyzer, the whip, stuff. So unfortunately, without her power suit, Zero Suit Samus, we're putting her at, she is our ground level. She is our ground level. We are not counting, the gunship, anything like that. Zero Suit Samus, ground level. All right? Absolutely. Now, here we go. Where is this man? We are putting Wario. We are putting Wario only from what we've seen in terms of his games at mounting busting. He can easily level, easily level a mountain, easily level, what do you call them? Not a city, but a building. Now, here's a couple of points to that. A lot of people are like, oh, but Wario is physically stronger than Mario. That's true. But Wario hasn't had the amount of games that Mario's had, and when I'm not counting the silly things we see in the WarioWare games, because those aren't just canon. They're just situations in place for us to get by in the games. But when it comes to his own games like Wario Land and Wario World, definitely mountain busting, but we haven't seen any type of super mystical stuff that Mario and Luigi has been in their games in terms of Mario and Luigi and in terms of Super Mario Galaxy. Wario really hasn't had the opportunity to do any of that or show us any of that. I am literally ranking him on his pure strength alone, which for a character like Wario, that's insane. All right, so I definitely put Wario on his own mountain busting. Oh god. All right. Next up, we have Solid Snake, ground level. I mean, I shouldn't really have to explain this, right? Once again, peak human conditioning, even from Solid Snake all the way to Old Snake and whatnot, and everything he's able to do in terms of weaponry and his own internal capabilities, I'll put him at ground level. I mean, you can debate mountain busting because of if he had an RPG on him, but I mean, like, an RPG can't really level a mount on its own, and there hasn't been any type of fantastical weaponry that Snake is able to use that doesn't require something that he needs to pilot, right? I am not counting him using a Metal Gear, because if I were to give him a Metal Gear, then that puts him at mountain busting, maybe even continent busting, because he'll be able to fire a nuke, right? But Metal Gear is a pilotable thing, and I'm not counting that, right? We're talking about Solid Snake on his own, and that puts him at ground level. Ground level easily, like, you know, very strong man, and he'll beat the shit out of anybody easily, right? Man. So now we get to Ike. Ike mountain busting. Whoa, man, especially when he's able to do about the ratings and rating dump. Nah, man. Great Ether is not actually canon, but still, like, the bosses that he's able to take out and the mystical sense of, you know, I forget, what's his, the sort of this, Ragnell, yeah, it's Ragnell. I was thinking of the other sword, the one that the Black Knight uses, the other Ragnell. Yeah, the sword Ragnell really puts him over the top. So mountain busting, I feel like it's very safe for him to be there. All right, now Pokemon Trainer. Weak, literally weak. You know, it's a kid. All right, wait. Oh, whoa. All right, there we go. So I have to, like, do this for you guys. All right, so Pokemon Trainer, weak. It's just a kid. It's literally just a kid. All right, just a human child. All right. Next up, we have Squirtle. Squirtle. You know, just a Squirtle. Literally Squirtle. It's not War Turtle yet. It's not Blastoise. Squirtle, I put it at ground level. Right? I'm not counting the anime where he used a Skull Bash and then he, like, disrupted all this circuitry within that of a giant Team Rocket robot and he blew it up. No, we're not counting that. All right. But in terms of, like, its power output and stats, we're going to put it at ground level. All right. Ivysaur. All right. Ivysaur, on the other hand, mountain busting, because we are also not only we're considering the stats, we're also considering the idea of the move known as Solar Beam. All right, with enough strength, and, you know, if you guys attack stat to its highest, I feel that Solar Beam can definitely level a mountain. All right. Other than that, you know, like, if he didn't have Solar Beam, I'd probably put, like, Ivysaur probably at ground level as well. But then we have to consider that. Charizard. Whoa! All right, Charizard. We're putting at mountain busting as well. Charizard literally is able to achieve heat that is able to melt rocks. Right. So, like, I feel like if you were to get an Omega level Charizard, especially Charizard from, you know, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Charizard the undefeated, Charizard the Omega thing, like, he can melt a mountain. You could definitely melt a mountain or just blow it up. So, yeah. Oh, God. So, mountain busting. Feel really good about that. All right. Here we have Diddy Kong. Now, Diddy Kong is a very, 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 very interesting sense, because, like, his weapons, while destructive and comical and whatnot, what he's able to do, I put him at ground level, right? You know, the peanut pop gun, he doesn't have, like, yeah, he has the exploding grapefruit and all that stuff, but, like, he's just, I feel like it's funny to think about what we've seen Diddy Kong able to do in Donkey Kong Country 1 and 2 and in Donkey Kong 64. Like, he's like Solid Snake. He's like the Solid Snake of Donkey Kong lore. All right. So I definitely put Diddy Kong at ground level. All right. Now, Lucas. Lucas is continent busting. You know, like, here's the thing. Like, spoiler for Mother 3, a lot of people get these arguments going on where, like, oh, Lucas is able to, like, literally have reality collapse on itself because of removing the last pin from Klaus. But that's, like, a situation that he outright didn't do. It's a situation that he got caught up of, and he's like, okay, let me just rip the bandit off and just let, you know, everything cease to exist. All right. That's not his own power. He's responsible for it, but that's not his own power, right? So, like, you know, you can, like, rank that on Divine Slaying and whatnot, but not Continent Buster. I feel that is a good point to put, you know, like Lucas and Ness, right? From what he's able to achieve. So yeah, I forgot Murder 3 still now in Japan. Yep. All right, here we go. Next character, of course, literal embodiment of chaos. All the forms he's able to achieve, especially the most powerful form, this is no doubt in my mind, and you have, and like literally the epitome of the like embodies the essence of creation and destruction itself. Sonic easily goes Divine Slayer. Sonic easily goes Divine Slayer, and that's not even like I shouldn't even have to explain that. Right? But not Sonic easily goes Divine Slayer, right? So yeah. Hypersonic, Supersonic, literally Dark Spire Sonic, bro. Sonic in the Secret Rings, that I shouldn't even have to talk about that. So Sonic, Divine Slayer, easily. All right. Next up, King Dedede. King Dedede is planet busting because while not pilotable, and from what we've seen in the games, the forms that King Dedede is able to do as Max Dedede, and I keep forgetting what it's called, but like when Dedede became the Terminator in was it Planet Robot or Kirby Return to Dreamland? Anyways, that wasn't him piloting something, that was him like being modified with mechanical parts and stuff. And he's like, we've seen multiple times that he's literally able to grow to the size of like bigger than a mountain. You know, he's able to, like, he's grown to sizes and is able to achieve strength that's, like, you know, able to, like, blow up a planet if you want to, right? Now, sure, those are sporadic and fleeting, but we are counting those because of our forms he's taken, all right? So we're putting King Dedede at Planet Buster, all right? Bro, this man is literally an ant. Olimar's literally an ant, all right? Literally an ant. Bro, weak. I'm not weak. Bro, get out of here. Get out of here, bro. That's funny. All right, Lucario is in mountain busting. All right, we count Mega Lucario. We count all the attacks he's able to do. Aura Sphere, you know, all the steel attacks, fighting attacks, all that stuff. Easily mountain busting. And then we are not counting the aura, like, we're not counting Aura Storm. We're not counting the aura abilities he has in Smash, but from his power output, like sheer alone, from his stats in Pokemon, mountain busting easily, right? Oh, God. So, yeah. So Olimar thinks he's a Hank Pym. All right. Now, once again, this is lore. This is lore from their games, right? And then Rob is playable in some Mario Kart games. But Rob is not playable. Like, Rob playable in Smash, that stuff does not count. His abilities afforded to him, and I said this addendum in the beginning of the stream. The abilities afforded to him in Smash does not count. Rob is in weak. He is literally a plastic toy. Rob is in weak. He can drive a car. That doesn't mean anything. He's in weak. He's in weak. He doesn't do anything. All right. Now, here we go. Toon Link, specifically Wind Waker Link. All right. We are putting him at ground level. All right. Because the feats that he's able to accomplish a lot of the times, and this is like the weird part of it, right? Oh, he's able to control the wind, right? Yes, but he's not able to control the wind in a destructive enough force for we've seen the Battle of Gales, like the tornado song. He's only able to do that, and here's the big asterisk, you guys. He's only able to do that on the King of Red Lions, and that is a vehicle, and that doesn't count. So out of the links, lore-wise, he's the weakest. He's the weakest link. No, I just got that. Oh. Sure, he destroyed the barrier like around Hyrule Castle leading into Ganon's Tower. Right? He's able to destroy the barrier, but that was mostly due to the mystical power of the Master Sword. And the barrier itself like is mostly a wall of mystical essence and probably doesn't even have any actual gravity or weight to it, right? It was literally, it's like it wasn't destroyed as if it was a physical, like a physical thing to destroy. It was dispelled as a magical spell, right? So yeah. So we're putting Toon Link at ground level, unfortunately. All right, Wolf, ground level once again. Ground level, not counting the Wolfen, not counting that. What was that base called in Star Fox Assault? We're not counting that or whatever. Ground level, he's able to fight. He got the claws. He can shred you up. Man, Wolf can give you the absolute business, right? Now, weak Villager. I like Villager's just a guy. Villager's just a human. Oh, he's able to dig up fossils. He's able to, like, you know, put stuff away. It's like, oh, but that's reality warp and power. I'm like, get out of here with this life simulator. Man, I don't want to hear that. People are like, oh, any type of person that has life simulation is able to, like, you know, magic satchel things out of reality. Oh, that's a power. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, no. Villager, weak. Is just a villager. Just a villager. All right. Here we go. Super fighting robot. Da-na-na-na. Mega Man. Continent buster. Easily. There's a lot of, like, you know, ideas for planet busting, right? But here's the thing for that. The ability shown that he's able to do that could be planet busting, such as the black hole bomb, and the amount of TNT that he's able to, like, probably utilize to blow up a planet, all require ammo, right? And we are considering his ammo gauge against him, and of course, like, the amount needed in order to, like, you know, throw out to destroy a planet, right? But he's like continents and stuff easily. He's able, like, his own physical strength is able to, like, lift while he's castled on his own. And the destructive force he's able to put out, continent busting. All right, so that's where we're going to put Mega Man. We're not really going to put him planet busting. He's not truly there, and we haven't seen anything that allows him to, like, hey, let me blow up a planet, you know? But he's, like, hella strong. I mean, he could have blown up Jupiter, but he didn't, you know? Like, let me rephrase. He could have blown up Jupiter to show us that he could, but he didn't, so I'm going to assume that he can't. All right? So we're taking that into account. Continent busting, 100%. All right? Okay. Now, Wii Fit Trainer. We're putting Wii Fit Trainer at ground level. Only because, like, oh, Wii Fit Trainer, Wii Fit Trainer is, like, peak human conditioning. She's a trainer that has abs, that takes care of themselves really well. And I feel Wii Fit Trainer knows how to fight. We're not counting in the way Wii Fit Trainer fights in Smash, but I'm pretty sure, like, you know, an instructor like that probably is, like, you know, a certain degree black belt in something. All right. So, like, considering what the Wii Fit Trainer's, like, body tone and everything when it comes to instructing you how to take care of yourself, we're putting Wii Fit Trainer at ground level. Not weak, but just ground level. All right. So yeah, very fit human being. That doesn't make her weak. She's not weak. All right. This next part is going to get very interesting, right? Considering comparable lore on what Bowser was able to achieve using a specific power and what she's able to do herself, and people call her a goddess, but it was never stated that she is. Right, but guardian of the stars, a guardian of the cosmos, a guardian of the Lumas. Rosalina, I'm gonna put Rosalina in Celestial Busting. When we compare what Bowser is able to achieve using Grand Stars in Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, and the fact that the Grand Stars originally belonged to her, right? We are going to take that into account when it comes to what she's possibly able to achieve, and it's heavily implied that she is also on the level of creation, right? And if you're on that level of creation, it can be argued that you're probably on that level of deconstruction, because she already is aware of how stars are able to be born and how stars die, and Stardust gathers and creates new stars, and she looks over that, and the powers and abilities as whatchamacallit, as sporadic as we've seen them, makes me judge her on the level of celestial busting. At the very least, solar system busting. All right, so I'm putting Rosalind as celestial busting. All right, so yeah. Also, Omega, yeah, Omega level. Omega. Let's see, who's next? Little Mac. Little Mac is like, I feel he could punch a mountain out of existence. I really feel it could, but we're just taking it like peak level boxer, ground level. Like I got the Smash brain rot, but when it comes to punch out, yeah, Little Mac ground level. All right, so yeah, Little Mac is just a boxer. He really is, with arms bigger than his head. So Little Mac's just a boxer, just a boxer. All right. Now, here's the thing that you gotta understand about the next one, all right? Greninja. Greninja's at mountain busting. And the big reason to that is not only because of his Ash Greninja form and his like insanely stupid stats, but within the lore of Water Shuriken, and the what do you call them? The PSI behind Water Shuriken, I feel like, peak Water Shuriken at level 100 Ash Greninja level stuff can like slice him out. So I'm taking that into account. Greninja's sheer stupid physical, not physical, but like attack stat combined with Water Shuriken and what it literally is and the PSI behind that. Yeah, Greninja can slice mountains up. So yeah. So here we come to the Miis. The Miis. Mii Fighter, ground level. And I'm only Mii Fighters come from Smash, right? So I'm only applying what they're able to do in Smash in terms of their attacks, their final smashes, and what their final smashes can destroy, which is comparable to that of, like, let's say, stone, rock, metal, or buildings or anything like that. And when all said and done, when it comes to Mii Fighter, no, not Sans, not Dante, not Bomberman, Mii Fighter, Mii Swordsman, ground level. Mii Fighter and Mii Swordsman, ground level. However, Mii Gunner, mountain busting. I'll put Mii Gunner at mountain busting because, especially because of Mii Gunner's final smash and the abilities that Mii Gunner has that is comparable to that of what we've seen Samus is able to do in her games. So we're putting Mii Gunner in mountain busting, but Mii Swordsman and Mii Fighter ground level. So yeah, no Doom guy. All right. Oh god, we can't see lower ground level. Oh my bad. All right, so there we go. All right, ground level. I have to expand this a little bit. It'll be fine. Just let me know when you need me to scroll, and I'll scroll. All right. Now, from the lore that we've seen with Kid Icarus 1, 2, and Uprising, and like everything considering that, like, splitting of dimensions, creation of things that are able to destroy or put out, like, put away certain aspects in terms of, like, destroying things. I'm gonna put Palutena in Celestial Buster. All right. She's literally a goddess of light, and she's able to produce moves that she bestows upon Pit or whoever, like, praises her or uses her or whatever. Like, literally, she can make black holes. All right. So that in itself should explain a lot, despite me wanting to explain everything else. Mega Laser, our reticle. Awesome. Palutena, Celestial Busting. All right. Even though she is the goddess of a planet, still she's able to like put out like things like that for celestial busting, right? Man, go full screen. Now it's gonna get really high, and I don't want it to get like too smushed or whatever. Actually, you know what? Let me fix this. All right. Actually, no. I have to scroll my own either way, so it's fine. All right. So this is where we're at so far. As long as it doesn't get longer, you know what I mean? Actually, hold on. I'll do this. All right. Actually, that's not gonna work either. All right, that's not gonna work. All right. Enough stalling. Let's get back into it. Okay. This was very hard because I had to do this next one right now. I had to do a bit of research on. All right. When it comes to his own specific games and like the games when it comes to like the arcade games and whatnot. And I'm not counting the show. I'm not counting any of the shows or any of the movies. No Pac-Man's Christmas. None of that. All right. Pac-Man, all right? When it comes to like his 3D games and the abilities he has in the 3D games, I like, and it's only by this much, right? It's only by this much I put Pac-Man in Mountain Buster, right? I feel a lot more confident putting Pac-Man in Mountain Buster and not ground level, only because what he's able to achieve in those wacky 3D games, right? In his full form, it's like, oh, what happens when he just gets a power pellet and becomes big Pac-Man and whatnot? And it's like, we've seen that in the regular games and some of the spin-offs, right? But then like to gauge it is so erratic, so I'm just taking into account like the biggest example of that. And then he was able to like, waka like, level like things comparable to that of a building, right? So I'm putting Pac-Man in Mountain Busting. All right. Zoom out the tier list, but then I have to squint. Okay, yeah, you know what? You're right. I'm gonna zoom out the tier list. You're right. You know what? You're right. All right. There, much better, right? Better? Whoa! Better. All right. All right. Here we go. Next one up. You've seen them all before in Mountain Busting, but now we are putting a different character in a different level, and that is Robin. And Robin is Continent Busting, and that is a big ass spoiler for for Fire Emblem Awakening. Big ass spoiler. Robin is definitely Continent Busting, and the reason why is because Robin is the dragon. The big bad guy. Yeah, so if you haven't played Awakening, go play Awakening. All right. Without getting too much into it, Robin is the dragon, or the big, the fell thing, whatever. And then the power that it has is like literally the power, like, hey, man, if we don't, get this guy, you can destroy the world, right? But then, like, destroy the world, but then, like, what we've seen in the established lore of Fire Emblem when it comes to Awakening, when it comes to like that fell beast or whatever, I'm like, I mean, I'm sure it could destroy the world if it attacks multiple times, but then that's like, I'm gonna do my strongest attack and level a continent. Okay, did it level a planet though? No, but I mean, if I do it like a bit more times at certain spots of the planet, I could destroy it. And I'm like, but you had to like chill, so I'm not counting that. All right, so yeah, you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. All right, here we go. My favorite, one of my favorites of these, and play Xenoblade Chronicles. All right, we are taking this character at his peak, and when I say peak, I mean peak. All right, peak. No, it's like, oh, but he got depowered in Xenoblade 3. I know. Shulk, Divine Slayer, easily. Shulk literally becomes the creator god and created a new universe, right? It is able to mess with the fabric of reality, time, and space and hit the reset button on that and destroy the being responsible for creating the universe in the first place. And the people are like, oh, the power of friendship. Like, not really. That was like the power of the Monado after, like, you know, what do you call him? Elvis are like, yeah, nah. Elvis, you need to, not Elvis. Zanza, you need to understand, gods are only as powerful as providence allows them. And if you don't acknowledge providence, then guess what? The next god's gonna show up. And guess who's the next god? Shulk. And Shulk just gave him the slash of a lifetime that just like, no gods, boom, right? So yeah, sure, he gave up his godhood in like creating a universe without gods, which didn't really pan out by the time of Xenoblade Chronicles 3, but at peak, Shulk, Divine Slayer. All right. Oh god. Now, and I see a bunch of guys like talking about the difference between like Divine Slayer and Omega. When the smoke clears, when this list is done, I'm going to break it down because I noticed a lot of you guys weren't here in the beginning, and I broke it down in the beginning, but I'm gonna break it down again at the end. All right. So yeah, Shulk, Divine Slayer, and that's by a lot too, by a lot. All right. Oh boy. Oh god. Oh god. Kirby saving the day. When I said Kirby, Bowser Jr. We are taking away all of his mechs. I said in the beginning of the stream, no pilotable machinery. We're taking the clown car away. We're taking the long legs away. None of that. Just Bowser Jr. Right? That puts him at ground level. But now you can argue, oh, the paintbrush allows him to literally jump from world to world. Cool, right? But when it comes to like actual damage output, he's only able to create beings that, you know, does only so much damage to Mario using the paintbrush. So that still isn't a lot if you were to count Shadow Mario and the paintbrush, right? But like Bowser Jr. without the clown car, without all that stuff, ground level. All right. So yeah. Oh boy. Duck Hunt. Literally a dog. Literally a duck. What's Duck Hunt gonna do? All right. Also, like for those that don't know from the beginning of the stream, we're not counting the moves and the moves abilities afforded to them or borrowed in the Smash games. Right. That's why Rob isn't weak because he's just a piece of plastic. All right. Duck Hunt is literally a dog and a duck. That's it. Then, are we counting the zapper? No, we are not counting the zapper. It's the dog. Duck Hunt the dog. All right. Here we go. Bark and quack. Literally an animal. Okay. Ryu from Street Fighter. Hey, look, it's me, Ryu from Streets. Mountain busting. Definitely mountain busting. Like, an argument could be made for continent busting, but like the most you ever seen comparable power of him in that sense is probably leveling an island, right? And then people can argue is like, oh, how big is the island? How big is it Australia level? Is it, you know, is it Madagascar? Is Madagascar's an island, right? Is it Madagascar level? No. You know, Ryu is mountain busting, and for good reason when it comes to the Satsu no Hado, the state of nothingness, all forms of Hadoken that he's able to do, and then like literally the power output that we've seen him do in the games when it comes to lifting and breaking shit with his actual fist and energy beam projectiles. So that puts him mountain busting. All right, at his strongest form when it comes to, let's say, the Satsu no Hado or the, what's it called, the Gekyu Miki or Ryu Miki or whatever, he is able to, like, you know, sink islands with that that kind of power. All right, we're counting Evil Ryu. Yes, we're counting all forms. All right, sure you can. Oh boy. So that Ryu, and then we are putting Ken up there. Ken does not have the Satsuno no Hado, but Ken does have Violent Ken, which is, he trains in the same martial art as Ryu and does a lot of different feats and does forms of the Shoryuken when it comes to the Shoryupa and Shinryuken that Ryu cannot achieve, right? But it puts them at, like, we've seen them put at equal footing, especially when we consider Violent Ken against Evil Ryu, right? So we're definitely putting Ken also out mountain busting, all right? Now, here we go. This one is gonna be tight. This is okay. This is gonna be tight. All right, tight. I'm considering what we've seen in the games, and when I say the games, here's a very interesting thing, right? Everything we've talked about up until now hasn't been in this situation, right? And the situation is movies being canon to the games. Right. Movies being canon to the games. Everyone on this list hasn't really had a canon movie. I mean, maybe Street Fighter, if you want to count that as like, a reinterpretation of events that we've seen in that, thus making it canon because it expands on that or whatever. And then there's also shorts like with other third-party stuff like that. But when it comes to like an actual film that's like, okay, this game and then the film and then these games, Cloud. And from what we've seen with Cloud, right? And then also we have to here's another thing. What we've seen in Dissidia. Okay, yes, I'm saying that. What we've seen in Dissidia counts, but only to a degree, and I'm going to explain why. Cloud, I put Cloud in Continent Buster. I don't put him at Planet Buster because I do not count him using Bahamut as him. Right? I do not count him using Ifrit or the rest of them as him. However, Cloud is easily Continent Buster, and it's not even close, especially from what we've seen in Advent Children and in Final Fantasy VII Remake, where he is effortlessly able to slice through buildings on his ascension to meet Sephiroth in the battles that he's had in Remake and in in Advent Children. Now, note, he is able to take Supernova. He's able to tank Supernova, but that's only a testament to his endurance, not his sheer amount of damage output, right? Like, sure, you can turn on, what do you call it, turbo mode? I forgot the mode in Final Fantasy VII that allows him to, like, almost one-shot anything and then, like, breeze through safer Sephiroth and whatnot. But then that is more of a mode than an achievable state that Cloud is able to get to, right? So I do not feel comfortable with all of the material that he's able to wield, and then but what if he utilizes the black material, right? And I mean, I'm pretty sure he's used the black material, he always able to use the black material in the Dissidia Opera Omnia games, but he does also have Meteor Shot though, that's the thing. And then Meteor Shot, from what we've seen, is if he does it enough times, can then blow up a planet or whatnot. But I feel that is, continent busting. Supernova, no, we're talking about no. Supernova is not an illusion. It has been confirmed that Supernova exists in a reality, like a pocket dimension, that allows Sephiroth to destroy a solar system within that pocket of existence by blowing up a sun. Right? That it is not illusion. It is very real, but it just happens on another plane of existence that allows him to do it safely. Because he's safer, Sephiroth. All right, so I feel very comfortable with putting Clyde a continent buster. Very, 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 very much continent buster. Or whatnot. Planet busting, not so much. Right? So continuing on, we're gonna put Corrin also at continent busting. Right? It's like, oh, Corrin sucks. Fire Emblem Fates. Like, Corrin is a dragon. Corrin is literally one, like, when it comes to Fire Emblem dragons, they always mean business. And the power output that the dragons are able to do in Fire Emblem is like continent busting. Right? That's it's always been that, it always will be that. So like if someone is connected to or is able to transform to a dragon or anything like Rhea or anything like that, continent busting. Like off rip. Right? Oh god, you stay with me so far? This one. Here we go. The next one. This one. All right. Guess who else is joining the Divine Slayer Club? The Divine Slayer Club. You guys understand some of the most busted ass characters in this game, right? Bayonetta. Bayonetta is able to and I'm gonna explain Divine Slayer versus Omega and whatnot. Bayonetta is on Divine Slayer class. Her feats of strength is insane. She is very killable though. Like don't get me wrong. Bayonetta is incredibly killable, right? But the feats of strength and the abilities she is able to utilize in terms of destruction, in terms of reality manipulation, and everything like that is stupid. Like if you get a good hit on Bayonetta, she goes down, right? But you gotta hit her. But like the things she's able to do, like sending down a satellite back into the planet, like killing divine beings, literally tearing open fabrics of reality and messing with time itself and jumping specific universes. Play Bayonetta 3, by the way. Bayonetta is put at Divine Slayer. All right, so that's where we're put it. She is literally on existence on a higher plane to that of the physical realm that puts her in that sense. And that's what Divine Slaying is about. All right. Everything below Divine Slaying, to give you guys to reiterate the addendum, everything below Divine Slayer is power output on the physical plane when it comes to physical destruction, magical destruction, mystical destruction, that things are able to blow up stuff, dispel magic, all that things. It's all on the physical plane of existence. All right. Divine Slayer goes beyond that, and that's why they are in Divine Slayer and everyone else is below them, right? And then Kirby, we'll talk about Kirby in a little bit, right? So Bayonetta is definitely there, man. Bayonetta is All right, here's another one, and feel free to leave a comment. Feel free to leave a comment or in the chat or whatever. Inkling, weak. They're playing paint tag. It's just a kid now, a squid now, and I feel like the squid kids. I feel Inkling's makeup is a lot more, their makeup is a lot more compromised than that of a human. Water, bye. What are they doing? We're inking turf. Okay. They're able, their guns are able to break things like wood and stuff, but not metal. It's not able to cut through or blow up metal. Hey, I have this bomb that sprays ink, is able to break wood. Hey, I'm able to defeat this giant big thing. It's yeah, that's also inky and stuff. Alright, the Splatoon's not weak. Alright, literally, just ink. Oh god. Oh, this is a good one. Riddles. I put Riddles at mountain busting completely on his own when it comes to the plasma screech and the plasma breath and everything. He's able to blow up starships, space colonies, and all that stuff. He can level buildings and towns and whatnot. We haven't seen enough of Ridley that he's able to blow up a whole ass island or continent or anything like that, but his power output on his own is actually incredibly insane, right? So I put Ridley at mountain busting. All right, Ridley could blow up a mountain easy. Well, the Riddles. Oh god. Now, Next thing up, and this was very easy in terms of like, you know, they're just big buff dudes that are able to use mystical powers to take down mystical powers, mystical or what do you call items to take down the undead. Easily Simon and Richter are ground level. I feel that's very easy and very understandable. I feel like that there shouldn't be any arguments to that. All right. So yeah, Simon, Richter, ground level. Right. They're definitely not mountain busting. No amount of holy water can no, and no amount of holy water can, like, you know, blow up. It's like, oh, but Dracula's castle comes crumbling down. That's because you defeated Dracula. It's not because they blew up the place themselves. All right. So I'm like, oh yeah, but the castle flops. So no, it's because, like, hey, Dracula's dead, and I guess Dracula's the thing that was keeping the castle up. So like, just like, yeah. All right. Now, here's the thing. Before you say, oh, it's because of weapons, no. King K. Rool is, and I'm doing this comparable strength on his own and from the weaponry he's had. I'm not counting the bad ending from Donkey Kong 64. I'm not counting the bad ending. I am putting him at comparable power level to that of Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong is able to literally, like, terraform an island, is able to create volcanic eruptions, able to take down the moon, right? Continent busting, and then, like, you can even, like, oh, are you planet busting or whatnot for Donkey Kong, whatever. And King K. Rool is on his strength level, if not argued to be a bit stronger, right? So King K. Rool, wherever Donkey Kong is, King K. Rool is either a little ahead of him or right behind him. So we're putting King K. Rool at Continent Buster, right? Oh God, man. All right, here we go. Is Isabelle. Hey, she's a dog, but she can stand upright. Isabelle. Man. Okay. Now here we go. Next one. Incineroar, I put Incineroar at mountain busting. Considering Incineroar's once again dummy stats, physical wise, and I want, like, when it comes to, like, final starter evolution in terms of the attacks it can learn and the stats, like the description within that of the Pokedex and whatnot. I feel like if you want to have a comparable Pokemon example, there's Charizard, and Charizard is able to literally melt rock and whatnot. And I feel that Incineroar's power output, when it comes to its own attack stat, it can literally, like, you know, bust down buildings or bust down mountains, right? And that's like Mountain Buster is that level of building, or it could level like a landmass of that size or makeup. And Incineroar is definitely up there, especially when you get Z moves, man, Z moves. You know, now that I say that, Z moves definitely for Incineroar, but I'm like looking back, should I count Z moves for Squirtle and Pichu and Jigglypuff? Like, we'll talk about that later. All right. All right, here we go. Piranha Plant, literally ground level. We're not talking PD Piranha. We're talking like a PD Piranha. We're talking a Piranha Plant grunt that is able to be defeated by Mario just by, like, stomping on it, set on fire, literally coming out of a pile. It's not weak. It's not mountain busting, but, like, ground level. You know, I'm pretty sure Piranha Plant could take down, like, Simon Richter if they're not careful. But that's good. Like a Piranha Plant could kill someone like Captain Falcon. You know, it's strong. Okay. Now, here we go. This is a very Like this, okay, this, I feel this had to be the hardest person to rank out of everybody. This had to be the hardest person to rank, right? And I've played the game, right? And whatnot. And like, you already know it's Joker. When ranking Joker, most of Joker's most fantastical feats take place in the metaverse, right? And that could be argued like, oh, a separate dimension that he is able to jump to on his own, but then the metaverse, like, oh, can those feats still be applied in the real world? And should that argument even matter, right? But then we come to the end of the game, spoilers, we come to the end of the game where the world becomes the metaverse. And then he is able to achieve the God Slaying Bullet, Satanile. And then Satanile is an evolution that happens regardless. Like, it happens. It's not like, oh, Satanile only comes out if you do this. No. Satanile comes out regardless out of our sin. And then Satanile, which is our sin, like Satanile is our sin. Our sin is Joker's persona, and our personas are the power like of themselves, like within your heart, the other self, your inner power. And then with Joker able to, achieve something called the God Slaying Bullet, like the bullet that intertwines all the 7 deadly sins in order to take out Yaldabaoth, right? Damn, that's a big achievement. But it's very, what's I'm looking for? Circumstantial. It's incredibly circumstantial because that bullet was only made by combining the hopes, dreams, and the livelihoods and, the will to go on by Joker's companions and the confidants that you meet within the game, right? It's like, oh, but what if you only max out one confidant? It's like, it doesn't matter. Like, as long as you meet them, it's like, it's in the game thing. It's like, oh, the more confidants you unlock, the stronger the bullet. It's like, no. I mean, maybe. But it's incredibly circumstantial. And it is like, I do count Satanile as Joker's strength, as like his ability, right? But that ability was only afforded to him because of various circumstances. But then there's also the argument of like, should that matter? And since it does take place in the metaverse combined with the real world, it's like, oh, that kind of destroys the argument of like, oh, can it be applied there or can it be applied here, right? And I feel the sense of that and what he's able to achieve and also what Yaldabaoth is about, right? What Yaldabaoth's about and like what it is. Because the thing is like does that put Joker in Divine Slayer? But the thing is, from what I'm specifically ranking Divine Slayer as, is that his own power isn't something that is warping reality. It's just an ability he has that is able for him to jump from the real world to the metaverse, but then the metaverse collapsed on itself and whatnot. And, he couldn't get out of it. And the only way that he was able to separate the two was by, defeating Yaldabaoth, whatever. The god, right? And, all the circumstances, it's like, it's very hard. It's incredibly hard to gauge, right? So with that being said, Joker's situation is incredibly circumstantial. So I feel I have to I have to put him in his own tier. Because the thing is, a lot of Persona takes place on the metaphysical plane. You know what I mean? And that is a big deal to the identity of it, right? So, yeah, I have to put him in his own scale. I have to put him in his own tier. Dang. All right. Bro, what's with my keyboard? Hold on. Wait, no! What the fuck? All right. Row below. All right, whoa, chill. All right. Yo, why is it cut off like that? I don't like that. All right. Yeah, you know I'm gonna put right. Yeah, I'm gonna put I like that. Okay, I feel really confident about that variable like that. Okay. I feel really good about that. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's continue, shall we? We're gonna put the hero from Dragon Quest 11. Dragon Quest 11. We're gonna put him at Mountain Busting. All right. We're gonna put Dragon Quest 11 at Mountain Busting. So I feel really good about that. I've seen a lot of gameplay from Dragon Quest games, and then I played Dragon Quest 3 way back in the day. The Dragon Quest 11, what he was able to do, I put him at Mountain Busting. All right, specifically 11. Specifically 11. We're taking 11 into account here. All right. So yeah. All right. Let's see. Banjo and Kazooie is next. Now, here's the thing about Banjo Kazooie, right? We have not seen any type of ludicrous strength. Like, I feel Banjo Kazooie is actually really strong, but he's like bear and bird. Not weak, but we haven't seen any amount of ludicrous strength that we've seen like Donkey Kong is able to achieve, right? Despite being made by Rare, right? So I'm fine with Donkey Kong being on ground level. You know, Wonder Wing is not going to level a mountain, and we've not seen any type of, like own abilities that, Banjo-Kazooie is able to do in terms of like explosive or like powerful abilities that will be able to level anything beyond that of like, being on ground level. We obviously, like I said, no vehicles, so we're not counting any of those things you could build in nuts and bolts. So I feel like Banjo-Kazooie is fine being on ground level. All right. Donkey Kong. I said like I meant to say like, oh, we haven't seen Banjo-Kazooie do anything on the level of Donkey Kong. right? That's what I meant to say. Did I say Donkey Kong? Did I really say Donkey Kong twice? All right, whatever. All right. I just say that because Rare made Donkey Kong 64 and was making Donkey Kong and blah, 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 blah. Moving on. All right. All right. So Terry Bogard. Good old Terry Bogard. Bogard, mountain busting. Definitely mountain busting. Able to level a building. You'll bust a wolf. You know, are you okay? Easy. King of Fighters. What they're able to do and what they're able to survive is actually nutty. You know, and a good way to compare Terry Bogard is like, if you want to compare him to the main bad guy, Geese Howard, and what they're able to do in KOF and Fatal Fury. Yeah, mountain busting. Not continent busting, but mountain busting. Easy. Mountain buster wolf. Nice. All right. Next up is Byleth. Wait, I gotta take that back. Once again, the lore of the games. Byleth was made to be a vessel for Sothis, right? Sothis is literally like sealed god level. But Sothis does awaken within Byleth, and what Byleth is able to achieve as Byleth, like, do we count what Sothis is able to achieve under Byleth's like accomplishment, or no? Because like, are they one and the same? But no, Byleth was created to be a housing vessel for Sothis, and then Byleth is able to tap into that power. And okay, we're gonna quantify Byleth as that. We're not gonna quantify Byleth as Sothis. We're just gonna qualify Byleth as being able to use Sothis' power, but only to a certain degree. So with that being said, yeah, I'm gonna put Byleth as a continent buster. All right, so yeah, there goes Byleth. Oh, everybody loves Byleth, the most beloved Smash character to come to Smash. All right, next up we have Min Min. All right, Min Min definitely taking down a. We've heard about feats, but we haven't really seen anything beyond that of like tournament play within ARMS, right? Especially with the lore with the new characters and whatnot, and the arenas that the arenas that they fight in, like, don't fall under their fights, if that makes any sense. They're not able to do something that would break the arena or break the building they're in. So yeah, I'll put Min Min in ground level. All right, where they're like boxer with stretchy arms, but like, hey, the boxing things are really heavy stuff and whatnot. But I mean, from what we've seen in the ARMS universe, you know, I'm good with putting Min Min ground level. Okay, the next one is gonna be very, very interesting. All right, Steve. Now, I've played Minecraft, right? And then there's like Minecraft Adventures and Minecraft this and Minecraft that and all that stuff. From what Steve, the avatar, is able to achieve, man, creator god, get no. Build under the weight of what Steve is able to occur, because it's literally Minecraft, not mine. This, like, open the world, but is able to craft like the door to the Ender realm, like Steven creator level. No. I should add that as a addendum, like creator stuff, like no forge mode, no, not like Master Chief and Forge. No. With that being said, do you count the Ender Dragon? No, he's not the Ender. No, Ender, like, but Enderman. No, Steve. I'm not counting Zombie because Zombie's just a zombie. So Steve Alex. And I'm not counting Enderman, right? I'm going to put Minecraft Steve. You know what? People like creative mode just wipe clean the planet and just make a new planet. No. I am going to say this, though. I am going to say this. All right. I put some thought into it. I am going to say this. I would put Steve from Minecraft on Continent Buster. I would put on Continent Buster because thinking about it, Minecraft is as creative as you can be, right? And like there are big masses of land surrounded by water, and there are accomplishments I've seen that people like just build the ever living like Jesus out of stuff, but at the same time, I've seen feats in which like they've created like a whole network of destruction that can literally level like high amounts of land at a given time, just like straight up like sink a whole island, like straight up, I've seen people like play Atlantis with this shit. So I would put at Continent Buster. Yeah, I think I'll put it at Continent Buster. All right. So that's where I put Minecraft Steve. Right now, Sephiroth. Literally, I shouldn't have to elaborate on this, but literally, he's literally celestial busting. Literally celestial busting. I like a literal celestial buster, right? Right. He was not like, and then like the peak that he was able to do on the physical realm was to summon meteor in order to blow up Gaia, right? He didn't really achieve like everything he wanted to by like completely combining with the live stream, completely combining with Genova. It's always been like in spurts and things, because like the last time we saw him, like the backstory of 5/7, he fell into the live stream and then he became what he was able to become in that sense. But then when it comes to Safer Sephiroth and then him using Supernova, that's literally being celestial busting, right? It could be argued like, oh, Divine Slaying, but like Divine Slaying, like, actually, Divine Slaying, because he does open up another realm of existence in order to use Supernova. So, that's actually really true. That's actually super true. But he is kneecapped to the point where he's doing all of this for the sake of a planet. Like all he was able to do in terms of creating a supernova in the pocket existence, as like, hey, that's him in that existence destroying a solar system by blowing up the sun using supernova. But he was doing all of that in order to like, utilize the power of the live stream by activating black materia, and able to summon a meteor to destroy Gaia, and the meteor was able to summon, like the Holy wasn't able to stop it, right? But then the live stream that he was also a part of was able to stop the meteor. But then that also begs the question, like, okay, how powerful is the live stream inherently? Because sure, he is able to destroy a solar system in that line of existence, but he was doing all of that for the sake of a planet, which, like, is that the extent of what he's able to do? Can he only do that in that pocket existence? Can he not do that, like, in real life, for lack of a term? Because, I mean, like, if he was able to do all of that without the whole, pocket existence in order to fight Cloudred, why didn't he just do Supernova in the regular universe? Why was he going through all the trouble to summon, to use the black material, right? So then that's, like, the question to beg is, like, what extent of his powers puts him at that level? So because of that unknown factor specifically, I'm going to keep an eye on Celestial Busting. Because he's able to, like, destroy a celestial body from what we've seen with Supernova. But Divine Slayer, because it seems that, like, despite doing all that, he was still very limited to the point is like, I'm doing all this to make sure that black material goes through. And I'm like, if you could do all of this, then why do that? You know what I mean? So I keep him as Celestial Buster. So yeah, man. Oh god. Yeah. So I feel good about that. All right, here we go. Pyra and Mithra. Yeah, both of them. I will put both of them as Celestial Busting as well, considering that their prime form together, you know, like, oh, Mithra is a form of Pyra, Pyra's a form of Mithra. Yeah, they do split, but they're like literally their form together. Numa is like on par with rewriting reality, right? It is literally part of the reason, like, they were able to utilize the conduit, and I'm counting them because they are the core. They are one of the Trinity processing cores that was able to use the conduit in order to reshape the universe, right? So I'm putting them as Celestial Buster. And then there's like literally in their lore, it's stated when they go into like, you know, Numa mode or whatever in the game, they're able to rewrite the laws of reality, right? So I put them as Celestial Busting. Yeah, man. So literally one of the Trinity cores, yeah, Celestial Busting 100%, right? But like, man, if Rex was here, Rex was never made God. Pyra and Mithra were never made God. They were never made like in the sense of like, hey, let me reshape the universe. So that's like the only thing keeping them from me from Divine Slayer, because it could be argued that they're on the same level as Shulk, but Shulk was chosen by the providence that literally dictates what God is, Alvis, in that reality, because they are in separate realities, they're in separate universes. So in that reality, he was chosen to become like the creator God, and then he literally wiped out the universe. Pyra and Mithra, I am okay, I will like going by what blades are described as being, and the Trinity processing cores are, you know, described as blades. It is described that blades produce weapons and powers that are a lot stronger in the hands of their driver, right? And for lack of a better explanation, if you guys didn't get it or not, in the sense of that, you know, ideology, Alvis was the blade and Shulk was the driver. And then that's why Alvis choosing Shulk, like making him the creator God by the sense of providence. That's why Shulk was able to do all of that himself. And then Alvis like didn't do it himself. It's like, oh, I'm not doing this myself because like, oh, the power is bestowed upon him, which is stronger in his hands rather than mine. So since Pyra and Mithra are the cores and Rex is not on this list, if Rex was here, I would say, okay, Rex could probably be on the level of Shulk if we're taking into account the description of what these cores are able to do. But since they're not, once again, they're kneecapped to the point where I put them as Celestial Busting. All right. So, yeah. All right. And now we go to Kazuya. Yeah, I put him at Mountain Busting. Like, if you play Tekken, like, that's easy feat. Devil Kazuya, able to use, like, you know, the double beam and everything's able to do, like, the power output, like, breaking easily Mountain Busting. Continent Busting, nah. I'm not counting the fact that he runs, you know, the G Company and it has its own military. And if he want, he could just fire a nuke onto a continent and blow it up. I'm not counting that. Sure, he can do it because he got money, but that's not his own power. But people are like, but it's a weapon though. No. That's him calling in an airstrike. No. By Kazuya's powers combined, Mountain Buster. All right. So yeah. The double beam destroy a satellite. Yeah. Mountain Busting. That's not a continent. A satellite's not a continent. As big like if we take a satellite or maybe a space station, that's a mountain. Huh? That's double beam destroying the satellite. That's Mountain Busting. All right. And now, the boy! boy. The boy. The boy. People are like, you're just biased. Hey. Play Kingdom Hearts. Now, take into account that this man with the Keyblade, sure, like, oh, he's strong because of the Keyblade and the power of his heart connecting to the others. People are like, oh, that's not his power. That's just the power afforded to him that by others. The argument I am making is that that's the power of his heart. That is his own power that is able to connect with others and get that strong. His start is strong because of the connections is made, and that is his own ability. That is not something that is, I feel, is across the board. Because if it was across the board, everybody would do it, right? But no, his heart gets strong because of his own power. Because that's his heart. That's his like, everything's so shiny, right? And we've seen this man literally cut buildings, blow up islands, and yes, I am counting him blowing up what is known as the World of Chaos. It's just a ship. The World of Chaos in its own void vacuum realm, I'm going to put it as a mass and an entity that comparable to a planet, right? And that defeating that core and defeating Ansem in that allowed the end of the world to be destroyed, right? And that's like, oh, if I'm going to destroy this planet, I'm going to go for the core. People are like, oh, but what about the situation with Lucas where he took out the pin and then the fucking reality? Like, no, that like it's because he's not like it was a situation rather than an actual makeup of knowing where to strike, right? So by destroying the World of Chaos, and that allowed the end of the world to be destroyed and whatnot, like, you know, that honestly puts him at like planet busting already. And the power of the Keyblades and the Keyblades power and Sora's own power is truly limitless when you think about the feats that he's able to do, and then the fact that he is able to level one himself back and constantly go on. But we're talking about him at his strongest at multiple points. And this man is able to create pocket dimensions and is able to utilize said, like, you know, shredded realities by appearing up at different points in time, able to go to different points in time and different, like, planes of existence. Now, all of those feats and all those feats doesn't even count. Two things. The power of waking, which he literally used to reset a timeline. He literally rewrote a universe, right? That's the power of waking, right? He did that, and that was like under his own volition. He paid for it, but he still did it. Like it was a big no-no, but he still did it. That's one thing. And then two, that a lot of people really need to understand and utilize. Sure, Donald and Goofy was with him, right? And sure, that was the power of Trinity, but still, he was able to best Xehanort using what is literally can be described as the creator tool connected to the creating essence. And that if that is not considered to be divine, then I don't know what is in Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts and the Keyblade, right? Xehanort, that he had it. That was his. He opened it and he was connected to that. And Sora still beat him, right? Now, that could be like, oh, but then like maybe Xehanort wasn't using it right. Hey, sure. Xehanort didn't know what it was, and he was still hooked up to it, and like he tried his best, but Sora was still able to beat that. That's not, you should not hold that against Sora. You hold that against Xehanort, if anything, right? So with all that combined, especially what I just said about, you know, resetting reality, which it's not like, oh, it was a fluke. No, he did it multiple times. He did it multiple times, and he's like, okay, man, you're doing this too much. You're becoming a problem. Out of here, right? We are putting Sora in Divine Slayer, right? Oh, I gotta zoom out again. Jesus. All right, we're putting Sora in Divine Slayer. Parameter is there, but I mean, like, whatever. All right. We are putting Sora in Divine Slayer. Now, as a final addendum to end this stream, right? Because I know a lot of people will be like, oh, why is no one else in Omega? And why is Kirby there all by lonesome? Because you need to understand, Kirby lore is fucking vile. It is all over the place, right? It is all over the place. Kirby is literally in a tier of his own, even considering everything I said about Shulk, Sonic, Bayonetta, Meta Knight, Sora, everything like Continent with Celestial busting with Sephiroth and Pyra Mythra, Bowser, all that stuff. Kirby is beyond that, and it's not even close. There is an incredible gap between Omega and Divine Slayer when it comes to Kirby. That's why I created Omega, because Kirby is literally in a tier all of his own, right? If Kirby, that's why I'm glad he's a good guy. If Kirby, in Kirby lore, if Kirby was left unchecked, he can consume all of existence if he wanted to, and just like nothing. But when you think, oh, Kirby eats something and he takes the power. The actual lore to that is that Kirby literally houses a multiverse within his stomach, right? That houses like all the things he's able to absorb, and then when he needs to like copy an ability, he utilizes that thing he absorbed, and then he takes on that power, right? So like Kirby is cartoonishly busted. He can once again, if left unchecked, he can literally consume all of existence, and that will be it. That will literally be it. And he literally when Marx became God, he beat the shit out of him just because he took his cake. Kirby lore is like that shit is Toon Force. Like when it comes to any character in Smash, Kirby is like the closest to Toon Force I've ever seen it. Like it's dummy, right? So yeah, that's Kirby. Oh, that's the one addendum to answer your question of why Kirby is there, right? Now, I saw that a couple of comments are asking, oh, if a character like, this person was here, yet like a villain, yet the hero was able to beat them, doesn't that put the hero above them? No, because a lot of the time it's circumstantial, and a lot of the time the people have help. That's not taking away their feats, right? But I'm going off sheer power level in terms of power output, feats, and like what they're literally able to do. So like, let's take Bowser for example, right? Why is Bowser over Mario? Mario, Luigi, planet busting, play the Mario and Luigi games. Holy shit, right? Easily planet busting. However, Bowser, as we've seen with Mario Galaxy and other things, Bowser is literally able to create black holes, right? Why is he just use them to like take out Mario? It's like because Mario always has some sort of protection, or Mario always has some sort of like, endurance that is able to level that. But we're talking about straight up damage output, like Mario creating black holes. I mean, like technically when he beat Bowser, that created a black hole, but that wasn't his own strength. That was like, a circumstance he created. But Bowser is able to do that. That's why like, oh, in the sense Bowser like above him. And then what Sephiroth's able to do, compare what Sephiroth's able to do versus Cloud. Like, yeah, Cloud's gonna beat him because Cloud's Cloud, right? The protagonist finds a way. Yeah, but then like when we see what Sephiroth asks safer Sephiroth, like there is no safer Cloud. So that's why there is a big like takeaway from that. And that's like that shows how great certain characters are, that they're able to take down these godly beings, right? But there are heroes that have godly, beyond godly powers themselves, like Sonic, Sora, Shulk, Kirby, Bayonetta, Meta Knight, right? Those are all heroes. Heroes, literally all, like the top of the list is like nothing but heroes. At their peak. And we're talking about their peak, all their forms considered and everything, right? So yeah, man. So there we have it. Thank y'all so much. We finally did it, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is, the HMK power scaling tier list when it comes to lore. To the best of my knowledge, yeah, this is going on YouTube. Hi, YouTube. Feel free to debate, but I have given my reasoning, and I'm not saying that this is 100% objective. I feel like I've utilized a lot of the best of my knowledge in terms of situational awareness and whatnot. But at the same time, it is very much, it's more subjective than objective, but I feel like I've gotten like a good balance of things when it comes to the Smash characters in their own lore. Oh, but why is Rob weak? He's a plastic toy. I'm like, bro, you can drive a car. That's the most he can do. Hooray. All right. So until the next episode of The Fifth Dimension, this has been your boy HMK. And remember to dive deep, be brave, and enter the fifth dimension. Oh, but we gotta go ahead and raid somebody. Let's go ahead and raid somebody. Who are we raiding? All right, let's see. What we got? Who's live right now? But guys, thank y'all so much for coming on out. I appreciate it. I know I've been putting this one off for a while now, but like it was not because I'm like, I'm scared. No. It's because like a lot of things are happening. It was like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Yeah. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead.